All right, it looks like we are ready to go live. I'm not going to take up too much of you guys' time because today is Friday. I know Fridays are my off days where I don't work on anything relating to this channel. So I'm not going to be before you long. So we're going to get right into it. All right. Hey, Freedom Frugalers, it's time for another episode of Frugal Freedom. We're on day 5. Woo! This is where you learn how to become both financially independent and learn how to manage your time in one channel, okay? But we got to be frugal, okay? I want to teach you guys how to be frugal right now. I am your virtual mentor, Izzy, and today we're going to be learning a budget method called the zero sum budgeting method. Okay, this one is going to require a little bit less discipline. All right, I don't know, the past two methods that we learned, we were more focused on being disciplined. And the irony of it is, this is the no discipline budget series. Okay, so I want to ease you guys into a little bit less discipline. All right, so at the time of this, we are streaming live. So if you're watching after, just know that I'm answering all of your questions towards the end. But I will see your comments and respond to those later on. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Before we get started, though, make sure you grab my free budgeting worksheet, guys. Okay, I am not just setting this up, and I haven't just set this up just to get some content out to you guys. Okay, I actually have been through this process and am going through this process. I filled out this strategy worksheet and it has helped me a ton, so I know it will help you. Okay, it's a simple step-by-step budgeting guide that walks you through an easy way to budget your money while still being able to have fun. All right, I want you guys to have fun. Okay, so to get that, go to 8ivisions.com/become free, or go to the link in the description below. All right, let's talk about zero sum budgeting. Okay, so zero sum budgeting is exactly how it sounds. All right, this is where you take your income and you allocate it, there's that word again, so that you only have $0 left to spend. All right, we want to get our money and our income down to zero. All right, now that sounds counterintuitive and that sounds counterproductive, but here's how this works and here's why this works. Okay, so instead of having money left over, now we're gonna find a place to put some of that extra income. Okay, so we're not just getting it down to zero, we're putting it in the best places possible so that we have no income left over to spend. All right, so this is going to be usually in savings, but you can include this in extra debt payments. So if you have about $500 left over, we can talk about putting that $500 towards extra debt payments, or putting it more towards food so that you have more money for food, more emergency money, more savings money, or even more money for fun. Regardless, every dollar is going to have what we call a job. All right, so I like to think about my money as in terms, excuse me, of employees. All right, so each dollar that I spend, that dollar is going out and doing a job, whether that's to buy french fries or whether that is to buy some stock to make more money. All right, so but regardless of what it does, every dollar has a job to do until we have zero income and our dollars are working hopefully for us and not against us. All right, so how did I learn this method? I first learned this method from a Dave Ramsey episode. I can't remember which episode it was, but he talked about zero sum budgeting, and you guys know that I follow in the likes of Dave Ramsey himself. I believe he is a wonderful teacher when it comes to everything about money. All right, why do I really like this budget? Okay, I like this budget because there's no math. All right, there's no math involved and there's no percentages whatsoever. I know I pride myself as a percentages and analytics guy, but sometimes I just don't want to deal with all of that. So no math, no percentages. It's just straight money in and straight money going out, all working to do something. Okay. So why I also like this is because it puts a new perspective on saving and paying off your debts. Okay. So if you find yourself just paying the minimum and wondering why you're not getting ahead, it's because they're profiting off of your money. Okay. So here's where the zero sum budgeting method kicks in. Okay. You can pay the minimum, but then put more money towards paying off that debt. And that's some of what I've been doing when it comes to my debt repayments and finding that I have money left over at the end of the month. So my bank accounts, my envelopes, they're looking like zero right now because I've paid off every single thing and I've paid and put money towards everything. So yes, my account, my spending money is right at zero for the end of the month, but that is because every single dollar has a job. All right. This is a variation, like I said, of the 50-30-20 method, being that all of your money is accounted for, but we're diving a little bit deeper when it comes to where that money is going, okay? As opposed to just spending it in one of three categories, all right? And also, the last reason why I like this method is because it doesn't let you spend extra. There's no room extra to spend, okay? Because we have potentially $0, okay? Even if you find yourself as one of those people that do projected budgets, where you do an estimated budget, even if you find that you have more or less income, regardless, you're putting every single dollar to work, okay? Here's some things to consider. Because as all great methods, there are great things to consider. Okay, there aren't many for this zero sum budgeting method because it's that awesome, and also because I really like Dave Ramsey's teachings. But I did manage to find a few flaws within this system. Number one, it is very, very time consuming, and as I wrote this script, I put in all caps time consuming. Okay, most of you know me. I value time. I value time more than I value money. Okay, you do have to put in the work up front to even start budgeting this way. And what do I mean by that? What I do mean by that is it requires an intensive research and analysis of your statement and every month to figure out where your money is going into. Not to mention, like I said, if you're one of those people that do projected and estimated budgets, when you get the actual income, now you got to adjust for that. Uh yeah, and just considering the time that you have to put in, I just it's just too time consuming for me. Number 3, as with all budgets, that require you to do percentages and zeroing out your money in this case, there is very little to no room whatsoever for error. Okay, so if you have money budgeted and allocated, there's that word again. If you have money allocated for a specific expense and you find that it's a little bit more, now you got to find a way to get some more of that money put in. Okay. Number 4, it is all based on assumptions of what you make. Like I said, if you're one of those projected people that do projected budgets, if you find that you make a little bit less, and it happens, God forbid you get sick, something happens where you can't come in on time, some time gets moved around, you come in late from lunch, whatever it is, that gets you a little bit less. If you do a little bit less than projected, it's really a problem because now you have now you have to budget with just a little bit less. But if you make a little bit more, now you got more brain power going towards where to put that money. Okay, and like I said, it is very time consuming. It is a very time consuming task. I cannot stress that enough. The last issue that I had, like I said, I didn't have a lot of issues with this budgeting method. As you guys can see, I have done this as of the end of the month. I have zeroed out my accounts and everything. But every dollar is either working for me or has worked for me. Okay. The last thing I have for this is your priorities must be in order. Okay. You must understand what's fully important in your life. Okay. Because uh, because if you have rent, but rent becomes a little bit higher and you want to have fun, now you got to go in your fun money, okay, to go into this rent. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to be out on the streets, or do I want to just have do I want to pay that and sacrifice a little bit of my fun? And remember, guys, sacrificing when budgeting is only temporary, okay? It only becomes a long-term problem if you continue to choose fun over what's really important in your life. So I want to make sure you guys get that before the weekend, because I know the weekend is coming up, and here in Florida, our governor has just opened up the bars at 100% capacity. So while you guys are out there having fun, I want you to remember what's important in your life, okay? And while I'm saying don't have fun, understand that you do have to make a little bit of sacrifices, but they're only temporary if you make them uh, in the short term. Okay, long term, you'll be well off and very glad that you did. All right, so I'm gonna read some comments here, and then that's gonna wrap up this video. Let's see what we got. Yep, every single dollar has an assignment. Okay, you must always want to be uh putting your money to work. I always see my money as employees, okay? If I spend $5, that's five employees that I if I spend $5, that's five employees that I'm putting to work, okay? Whether it makes me money or not. Okay, Miss Cassandra, you said what if you find that your allocation area have been misplaced? Uh, I'm not understanding the full brevity of this question, but from what I assume you're asking what if let's see, you're asking what if maybe you're asking what if you find that uh trying to really trying to make it out what this is saying. But regardless, what I think the answer to that. Okay, I see now. Okay. Cuz I was going to say regardless of if things have been misplaced, you must always continue to adjust. Oh, okay, so example, should young adult early 20s establish 401k and stock as early as possible? Yes. And I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take my advice to heart, but definitely the earlier you start, the better off you become. Okay, so there's a study that shows that if you invest $5 a day at 20 years old versus $5 a day at 25, okay, my age, the difference is about $177,000 by the time you retire. Okay, so investing as early as you can is important. So early 20s, yes. If your job offers 401k and they match it, definitely max out your 401k. Okay, and then when it comes to stock, I don't have much advice on stock, but I will say definitely because I am getting into stock, but more importantly, I'm getting into ETFs and I'm getting into ETFs and things that pay dividends rather than individual stocks. But that's just going to be my portfolio. It's going to be different and more personal for everybody else. But as far as retirement, you do want to get started with things that go towards your retirement as soon as you can, especially if your company can match it. Okay, so great question, Miss Cassandra. And when you're talking about zero sum budgeting, yes, you do have to be allocating money if you want to. Right now, you do want to be allocating some of your money towards retirement, and that goes into savings and investments. Okay. Um, and later in this series, I'll set up an actual budget where we do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna allow about another minute or two for questions. Let's see. And by the way, Miss Cassandra, thank you for clearing that up. Um, because I was really trying to make out the question, but I do appreciate the question. Okay, I would like to know more on ETFs as opposed to cryptocurrency if you feel comfortable. Okay, just a quick summary of ETFs. I think ETFs are the best thing. And again, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. Uh, so everything that I do teach, I can only give suggestions and opinions based on my experience, but it does require a little bit more research. But I will say I am myself getting into ETFs. Two particular ETFs that I'm getting into right now is the Vanguard S&P 500 and also the Vanguard Real Estate Investment Trust Fund. Okay, I invested about $5 or $10 into the Vanguard. No, I invested about $5 into the Vanguard S&P 500 stock, and as of right now, I made about 10 cents. So it definitely is a great stock, but again, that takes a little bit more research. And I'll definitely talk with you about it because I'm learning that myself as well. And as I learn, I will be making more videos. And she says, I understand and you are appreciated. I definitely appreciate you and your questions, okay? Because, like I said, as I learn, you learn as well. All right. So I got since we had another question, I'm going to open it up for about another minute. All right. So we're actually doing good on time. Okay. So I got another minute or two for questions. That was a really great question, by the way. Definitely invest as early as you could. Uh, Okay. Looks like there are no more questions. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. In conclusion, zero sum budgeting has become one of my favorite ways to budget. Okay, like I said, I have done it just as of today. All right, on the surface, you would be amazed at how simple this is and wondering why nobody has ever thought of this, okay? And why nobody ever thinks to do this with their money. But a lot of it comes from not being taught how money works, and that's my goal for that's part of my goal for this channel is teaching you guys how money works. Okay, so got to give thanks to public education for not teaching that, but that's neither here nor there. On a lighter note, if you are watching this in order, I am so glad that you have come this far into the series. This is number cinco. I almost messed that word up in Spanish. This is number 5, and I really absolutely recommend this method of budgeting over everything else. Now, do I specifically use this method? You'll find out later in the series where I talk about my specific strategy that ended up working for me. And it looks like I got some more things coming in. So let's see. Marked a great conversation. Yes, it really did. But that's all I have for this video, guys. I really hope this helps. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And comment down below and let me know if you've ever heard of this method. All right. I heard of this method maybe about 6 or 7 months ago when I listened to a Dave Ramsey episode. So this one is new to me, but it has worked for me. Okay. If you do use it, how is it helping you? All right. And also, if you have any other topics that you would like me to cover, I am very happy to see those below as well. All right, so I got a couple of suggestions on Facebook that was really helpful that I will be covering in later videos. But we're gonna finish out this budgeting series next week, guys. Okay, we start next Monday, so I'm giving you guys the weekend to reflect on some of these videos and really take into account some of the things. I know if you got paid today, or regardless of when you get paid, now you can start to implement some of these methods, and that's what I want for you guys. Before you go, though, be sure to get a copy of my budgeting worksheet sent directly to you if you haven't already. I've been Izzy, your virtual mentor, and I'll see you guys in the next video. We're going to learn another method that requires no discipline whatsoever. So we're right at the meat of this, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Stay frugal until you're free. Peace.